You are now listening to the astrological forecast for Taurus for May 2025. Perhaps you haven't fully sensed it yet, but this May the universe is sending you very subtle signals. Everything doesn't happen in a rush. Instead, it shifts quietly, like the ground silently cracking beneath the surface, preparing for new seeds to sprout. With the sun still shining in Taurus until more than halfway through the month, this is a period where you not only have the opportunity to reap what you've sown, but are also urged to review and reassess the foundations you've built. Let's dive deeper into each forecast to see what lessons and opportunities this month has in store for you. All these movements, from career, finances, love, to health, do not arrive randomly or separately. They are like waves, each one gently pushing you farther away from the old shore. And if you remain quiet enough to listen, you will realize everything is unfolding according to its own unique and purposeful order. The universe does not challenge you with everything all at once. Instead, May is divided into layers, into weeks, each week acting as a mirror, reflecting more clearly the state of your inner world. There will be weeks for realizing, weeks for rearranging, and weeks for starting again, but with footsteps that now understand themselves better. Now, let's take a closer look at each specific week of May so you can see more clearly when to slow down, when to open up, and when to seize the opportunities you shouldn't miss. The first week of May opens with a profound stillness within Taurus's inner world. You continue working as usual, fulfilling your responsibilities, but deep inside, something feels misaligned. Starting from May 3rd, as Pluto begins its retrograde in Aquarius, questions about your life purpose, career direction, and social roles start to emerge. There are no major external events, but a quiet sense of disconnection will slowly seep in. You may find yourself sitting in familiar spaces, yet feeling strangely adrift. Your work hasn't changed, yet you begin to ask yourself, am I truly living in alignment with my desires? Everything you once thought was stable suddenly feels uncertain. And if you've been silent out of fear of change, this week is when the universe gently knocks on your heart's door. It would be no surprise if you feel the urge to withdraw from big conversations or avoid unsolicited advice. It's not that you need guidance from others, you need time to listen to your own inner voice. Some Taurians may even start thinking about enrolling in new courses or exploring new experiences, not because you are dissatisfied with the old, but because you are beginning to realize you can no longer continue merely out of habit. This is not the week for drastic action, but for deep observation. Take time to write down the things you've always wanted to do but have ignored. Sometimes, simply acknowledging your true emotions is already the first step toward changing the entire course of your journey. Stepping into the second week of May, Taurus will clearly feel the pressure from unfinished tasks. Under the influence of Taurus energy, combined with Mercury and Mars, everything at work begins to intensify. Tasks you once put aside now resurface, demanding to be resolved completely. You may find your schedule becoming packed, even suffocating at times, if you don't actively reorganize your priorities. This is also the week when you start to see the growing gap between your efforts and the recognition you receive. You work hard, think deeply, sacrifice much, yet may feel that no one truly understands your inner world. In the workplace, misunderstandings or uncomfortable conversations could easily arise. Your natural patience will be quietly but persistently tested. If you've been considering a job change, this week might rekindle old intentions. You may find yourself drawn to opportunities that offer more freedom, flexibility, and alignment with the lifestyle you crave. However, the energy is not yet stable enough for major decisions. View this week as a prelude, a time to gather information and observe the market carefully. In terms of finances, this is a period when you should avoid making large emotional purchases. Expenses related to home, family, or health could unexpectedly arise, requiring you to adjust your budget. Since emotions can easily sway your decisions, it's better to write down options rather than trying to juggle everything mentally. Gaining control over your financial emotions this week will strengthen your stability significantly in the weeks to come. The third week of May marks a time when energy begins to shift more noticeably. As the planets gradually leave Taurus and move into Gemini, you will feel a change not only in your daily rhythm but also in how you interact with the world. Everything seems to happen faster. Multiple tasks arise at once and you are forced to adapt to a pace you're not naturally accustomed to. This is the week that signals the transition from stability to flexibility. And it's also the moment you need to breathe steadily to avoid being swept away. Finances will be a prominent theme this week. Unexpected expenses may pile up faster than anticipated. A contract that needs renewal, equipment that must be replaced, or a personal expense that forces you to reassess your budget. Meanwhile, sources of income may be delayed or less clear than you initially thought. This instability won't last long, but it's enough to make you anxious if you don't keep your emotions in check. This week may also bring minor misunderstandings in communication. A careless word, an impulsive reaction, or a mismatch in expectations could create a sense of discord between you and loved ones. Particularly in romantic relationships, emotional distance will become more apparent if both sides haven't truly listened to each other for a while. This is not the week to argue about who's right or wrong. It's a time to slow down and seek deeper understanding. For Taurians, working in teams or involved in group projects, special caution is needed in communication and conflict management. Don't stretch yourself thin trying to please everyone at once. Stay firm with your boundaries and learn to say no when necessary to protect your energy and prevent burnout from tasks that aren't truly your responsibility. Entering the final week of May, a gentler flow of energy begins to emerge. As the Sun and Venus move into Gemini, you will feel your mind starting to open up, your thoughts becoming more flexible, and your spirit gradually brightening after a long period of heaviness. If the first 3 weeks were about reflecting and shedding, this week invites you to lightly reach out toward something new. With a relaxed, unburdened attitude, nothing needs to be grand. What matters is that you feel yourself slowly returning to your true rhythm. Small opportunities may arise in very casual ways: a collaboration offer, a personal business idea, or an interesting introduction from a friend. These opportunities might not yield immediate results, but could become seeds for near future growth. The important thing is to actively filter through them. Don't grab onto everything out of fear of missing out. Gemini energy makes everything look appealing but also brings volatility, so stay alert to discern what's a genuine inspiration versus what's merely fleeting excitement. Emotionally, this is a week where you may find it easier to share your thoughts. Light-hearted conversations, spontaneous outings, or even a solitary walk can help you untangle lingering thoughts. If you're in a relationship, it's a good time to reconnect gently, without pressure. If you're single, an interesting person may cross your path in a familiar setting. But don't rush to label anything. Allow it to unfold naturally. This week is also ideal for taking a more proactive approach to your finances. Reviewing your budget, adjusting spending plans, or learning a new financial skill will give you greater peace of mind as you move into June. The steps you take now may lay the groundwork for a stronger shift ahead, so even small changes are well worth starting. May 2025 marks a quiet fracture in Taurus's career direction. Starting from May 3rd, Pluto, the planet of power, control, and restructuring, officially turns retrograde in Aquarius, shining directly into Taurus's sphere of career, long-term goals, and public image. This is a phase that doesn't bring about explosive events, but rather silently illuminates the foundations you once believed were solid, especially in how you build your career and define personal success. Forecasts indicate that May will be a time when many Taurians clearly feel a gradual disconnection from their current work. You may still perform well, maintain an important role, but deep down your motivation has faded. Goals that once excited you now feel like little more than a checklist of tasks to be completed. The feeling of working like a machine will creep in more often, especially during quiet moments when you reflect on your journey. You may find yourself avoiding strategic meetings, feeling less enthusiastic when talking about the future, or wondering why you no longer feel compelled to move forward. This sensation is no coincidence. It is Pluto's quiet invitation for you to return to a core question: what still truly reflects who I am today? Especially for Taurians working in fields such as technology, communications, education, or organizational systems, where constant updates and adaptability are crucial. This energy will reach the very core. You will deeply feel the urge to reassess your professional ideals and personal values. May is not the time for impulsive changes. Pluto retrograde advises you to pause, observe, and record the subtle signals of instability. Acting rashly now could cause you to discard valuable foundations that are still worth preserving. By the end of June, as the planets shift into more favorable alignments, opportunities for restructuring and changing course will become much clearer and more grounded. See this month as a necessary period of stillness. Whether you are standing firmly, feeling disillusioned, or seeking a new beginning, give yourself the space to reassess your career roadmap and clarify what you truly want to build for the long term. Don't force yourself to fall back in love with things that have already fractured. But don't rush to reject everything either. May is an invitation for you to start painting your picture anew. This time, with colors that better reflect the person you are becoming. May also brings new financial challenges, requiring Taurus to prove resilience not just through actions, but through the way you manage your resources. Your financial situation may not necessarily worsen, but there will be undercurrents that could make you feel out of control if you aren't prepared. As Jupiter, the planet of expansion and fortune, prepares to leave your sign, the supportive energy you have grown accustomed to will gradually diminish. This is the time to reassess your entire financial foundation, from how you earn and spend to how you invest your trust in long-term commitments. You may face unexpected expenses, property repairs, family support, or settling old financial obligations. It's not because you've managed poorly, but because multiple external factors may converge at once, stretching you thin in many directions. In such moments, Taurus's instinct to keep everything stable can backfire, making you cling too tightly to what is no longer effective instead of restructuring with flexibility. Meanwhile, as the Sun and Venus shift into Gemini between May 20th and 25th, new financial opportunities may arise. You might receive a business proposal, a side job offer, or an idea for launching an online venture. However, don't let excitement cloud your judgment. Any transaction that lacks transparency or sounds too good to be true should be thoroughly vetted. The golden rule for Taurus this month is simple: secure what you have before thinking about expansion. Manage your expenses carefully, strengthen your emergency savings, and only commit financially when you fully understand the risks. True stability doesn't come from how much you earn. It comes from how steady you remain through unexpected storms. If by this point you feel like the events unfolding in your life have been orchestrated by the universe, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. These monthly forecasts aren't just about knowing the future, they're about helping you prepare with greater calm and confidence. And if you're curious about the forecast for another zodiac sign this May, leave the name of the sign in the comments so I know which story to tell next. In matters of love, May will bring subtle shifts, reminding Taurus that love too needs space to breathe so that both partners can grow without losing themselves. Taurus's emotional landscape this May won't be loud or dramatic, but it will be deeply authentic. While the Sun is still moving through your sign, you'll retain a sense of emotional stability. But starting from May 20th, as the energy shifts into Gemini, and especially as Venus, your ruling planet, leaves Taurus for this new zone, your heart will begin to beat to a different rhythm. If you are in a relationship, this is a time when previously small differences may become starkly visible. You may find yourself yearning for deeper understanding, richer conversations, and companionship that resonates not just in actions, but also in shared thoughts and emotions. If your partner remains on an old wavelength, resistant to change, hesitant to share, you might start feeling a quiet loneliness, even within the familiarity of your bond. Some Taurians may experience a lingering, subtle disappointment, as if the love remains, but the connection is gradually withdrawing. And this is precisely when you must ask yourself, am I staying out of love or out of fear of change? Necessary conversations will surface. They may be difficult to hear, but they offer an opportunity for both of you to look at yourselves and each other with greater honesty. For single Taurians, this month carries Gemini's refreshing energy, encouraging you to open up to spontaneous encounters. Through social media, through friends, or through unexpected activities, you may start a connection that feels light yet deeply inspiring. However, avoid labeling or attaching expectations too quickly. This is a time to rediscover the joy of communication, not to rush into something undefined. Whether you are in a relationship or not, the message for Taurus this month is clear. Breathe with your emotions. Don't force yourself to remain stable in a world that is constantly shifting. You don't have to hold on tightly if it makes you feel suffocated. True love will never demand you shrink yourself to fit. It will expand to meet you as you live more authentically. May is also the time when your body begins to speak up, reflecting the mental pressures that have yet to be released. A gentle reminder that taking care of your health is also a way to heal your heart. This is a quiet yet persistent journey of tuning into your body and mind. While the sun is still in your sign, you may feel like you're being energized from within, able to accomplish more, endure more pressure. But that's only the visible tip of the iceberg. Beneath the solid surface, your body continues to whisper, and if you don't pay attention, those small warnings could accumulate into bigger problems by the end of the month. After May 20th, when the Sun and Venus both leave Taurus, the nourishing energy that has been supporting you will also begin to dissipate. You might find it harder to sleep, your mind more scattered, or simply experience a vague sense of losing enthusiasm without any clear reason. This isn't a sign of failure. It's a signal that you've been carrying too much for too long, and it's time to pause and breathe. Taurus doesn't easily let go. You are persistent, responsible, and always striving to fulfill your role. But precisely because of that, you are also prone to forgetting your own limits. This month, if you find yourself easily irritated, falling into negative thinking, or struggling to focus even when nothing seems wrong, take it as a gentle call to return to yourself. You don't need grand gestures to heal. Sometimes just 15 minutes of walking without your phone, a short meditation before bed, or a quiet conversation with someone who understands you is enough to recharge your energy. Choose simple activities that genuinely bring you comfort, not for anyone else, but simply because you deserve to live more gently with yourself. Lasting recovery always begins with the smallest acts. And when you learn how to protect your own energy, you not only become healthier, but also stronger and more confident to embrace the opportunities that are quietly approaching. May is not the time for Taurus to rush forward, but rather a month for clearing out the old and listening honestly to your own heart. You don't need to have all the answers right away, nor do you need to prove anything to anyone, because true growth isn't measured by speed, but by your clarity and steadiness when everything around you is shifting. The feelings of uncertainty you may experience this month are not signs of failure. They are reminders that you are ready to step into a new chapter, a chapter that is more authentic, more transparent, and lighter at heart. Whether you must let go of a plan, a relationship, or a long-held self-image, trust that whatever leaves is not taking something away from you, but instead returning you to yourself. And as the Sun and Venus leave Taurus and move into a new energetic space, you will begin to feel your heart gradually ease. The burdens you once carried will feel lighter, not because they have vanished, but because you have grown strong enough to see them with new eyes. This is the greatest gift of May, not an opportunity, but true clarity. If something in this forecast has touched that quiet space within you, perhaps the coming May truly is the time for you to look back and gently begin to change. This journey will not be rushed, but if you walk it with awareness, you will realize that you are not alone. Don't forget to hit subscribe to receive monthly astrological forecasts exactly when you need them most. And if you would like me to forecast for another zodiac sign this May, leave the name of the sign in the comments. I'll read through them all and choose the ones mentioned most often. We still have a long journey ahead, and I will always be here to help you decode the small but meaningful signs the universe is sending your way.